to start. But I kind of talked to you the night of kickoff, and I mentioned I have non-Hodgkin's indolent. Indolent means slow-growing. Follicular is the type that I have. So it's not curable yet, but it's very treatable. And I was diagnosed in 2004, and fortunately I only had 2 spots in my groin, and it wasn't anywhere else. It wasn't in my bone marrow or anything, so I was able to have radiation. And then I thought, I was going to be one of those lucky ones that it was never going to come back again, right? So, so I got involved with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society and started fundraising and doing events, and in the fall of 2008, I started getting, I thought I had bad allergies, and thought that my, well, basically I was having wheezing, and it never occurred to me that I should go see my oncologist, because I didn't think my cancer was ever going to come back, right? So I went through the fall and into the winter and into January, and my primary physician thought maybe I would have had asthma, so she had me go have an asthma test. Well, come to find out, my oncologist, when I saw him in January, he knew right away, and he was upset that my primary hadn't caught it. But anyway, to try and wrap things up, there was a new drug called bendamustine, new chemotherapy that had just been FDA approved, and hopefully you guys will get to meet Doug. Doug is an honoree who I met in 2004, and I don't want to give away his story, but he pretty much was given his papers to say that he was terminal, and he kept having relapse after relapse, and nothing was working for him until his doctor said, there's one more trial I can put you on. So they put him on this trial, and it was for bendamustine. And so he's now been cancer-free for 3 years. Here's someone who just battled, and thought that his life was over, and gave his life to be in a clinical trial, to then overcome and now be cancer-free. So when he found out I was on this drug last spring, it was just like we both just screamed and hugged, and were like, oh my gosh, you're kidding, that's what you were on. So, I feel I got over being upset at myself for not going to the doctor sooner, because I probably would have had a much harsher treatment. And I do know that my disease transforms at a rate of 3% every year. So I'm now at 21% of it transforming, meaning it's going to get more aggressive. It's going to, right now I'm at grade 1, so it's low grade, it's indolent, slow growing, but at some point it'll come out probably, and that's when I need to save, some of the more aggressive treatments for that. But I feel hopeful because of these, they're just doing incredible things. The chemo that I had, I didn't lose my hair, I wasn't sick, I was able to work, I was tired, it was just amazing. So I think that connection alone, knowing that, we need to keep fundraising for researchers to find these better drugs, and then we need the clinical trials that most often aren't being, insurance doesn't pay for patients to be in clinical trials, basically. And it's a chance, it's a gamble they take, They're like, well, is there anything better? Some people don't want to go in clinical trials because they think, no, I want the sure drug that's going to help me. So right now I'm taking Rituxan, and they talked about that at kickoff, Courtney did. And that was a drug that was funded through the LLS back in '98, I think it was. And Dr. Levy was given the SCORE grant, and his group of people funded that drug. And that's just one of the best things that is saving people's lives today. So, and I'm lucky that my body accepts it, because it's not always accepted. People have a hard time, they get allergic to it. So anyway, I feel great. I'm excited to be able to be out here with you guys, and I know I'm doing Lava Man with Tracy, right?
Woohoo!
And another month. I'm doing the bike portion, so But you're doing incredible things. I know it is hard to fundraise, and it's a lot of money. But I also want to talk about, real briefly, the other programs that they do offer that your money goes towards. And Joan went as well up to San Francisco. There was a big workshop conference that was in January that the LLS provided to us as patients to give us information that we could learn about all the latest and greatest and newest clinical trials, drugs that have come out, things that came out of a big ASH conference, which is the American Hematology. So the big conference they have in New Orleans every year in November of last year. So then we were able to get, the LLS was able to get doctors from UCSF and Stanford to come and tell us what they learned at that conference. So the educational portion, that's where some of your funds go to as well, to help us, which helps me learn more about my cancer and you know, what's it going to look like in the future for me, and what's coming, and to not be so afraid of what I have to look forward to. And I'm really hopeful. You know, they're still really excited to think there's going to be a vaccine that comes out for my type, where, you know, I'll just go get that vaccine once I have a relapse and they find out what type it is, you know, and then how cool would that be? You know, I just have a vaccine once a month and it never comes back again. And I think that could be in the future, you know. So there's just all kinds of good things. I think this last time I had this relapse, I've learned so much more, and I can really see the connection that the society has and what Team in Training does. I didn't quite see it as much as I see it now, you know, because it's just really, it's really pertinent. And so what you're doing is a great thing. So, and then, Gabrielle, I think you wanted me to say something about, well, I want to get involved with the First Connection, and I haven't done that yet, but there are people that have called me in the last month and a half who knew that I'm on Rituxan, and they're just being diagnosed, and they want to know what's it like, and, you know, so I'm able to talk and share information that I know, and these are people that I know through Team in Training, so there's that other connection too that we're able to give back, and I think that's what helps me keep going. It's just, you know, being able to be here and be with all of you guys and be able to give back. So, anyway, thank you.